Welcome back, everyone. Ironworks shop walk around updates. We've got Roger standing in front of the crew cab Mercedes.
Oh, don't say that.
What are the
Our
weights?
European friends get a little pissed off on Facebook over that.
What are the weights for?
So the weights, what we do with the weights is we figure out what the weight of the engine and drivetrain and stuff is, and we put it back in the car to flex the car for when they do body work. It just puts it closer to where the car will be when it's all together, because currently it's all empty inside. And so it helps just duplicate and strategize the weight through the car.
So you're telling me that when you take the engine out and you send it to body and paint, that there could be some minor, minute shifting in the panels and whatnot that you guys put weights in there?
We put weights in there just to flex the car.
Interesting.
Just so that's, because it might be, it's going to be different. I mean, the car is going to flex different when heavy passengers get in or whatever is going to happen. And so we just have weights that we put in the cars. This is, I think, 600 pounds here. These are actually wake surf boat weights you'd put in a boat to make a bigger wave. And so we just buy them. They're 50 pounds a piece. And we make a plate that goes in and bolts to the motor mounts and sets some here, and we'll set some in the trunk and just kind of disperse it through the car.
Going that extra mile.
Just to make sure that it's that much nicer. So you're not, like you see guys who put quarter panels on a car on a rotisserie and you're like, that ain't gonna work, because that's not how it's mounted. That's not how it's bolted. And so we just try to duplicate how the car will be eventually.
And I want to point out, this isn't like, it's one of those things to where these are the things that you've learned over the years of making the mistakes and then figuring out a process to make things easier and more streamlined to work better.
Well, and you just start to realize things you could do to make things better. I don't know if this ever shot us in the foot on anything, but I know that, not having the body torqued to the chassis the same way changes things because it sucks the body down differently. I know that was an issue we had a long time ago where we had reinstalled the body on there, it didn't fit right. We figured out that the body hadn't been torqued to the same specs that it was before, and tightened it down and it fit like it was before. And so there's just stuff like that where that the chassis is going to flex differently when you put weight in it.
So tell me, this car's all torn down. Where are we at with it?
It's pretty much ready to go up to Car Fab up there to let them do the body and paint on this one. We put some additional speaker stuff in it this week for subwoofer vents and speakers in the package trays and working through the doors and things like that to get this one through. It looks like we're going to paint it a Ford Raptor anti-matter blue, I think is what it's going to be. So we got just a few little things to work on. We're working on hood hinges because we're still not happy with those. We put the old mock-up wheels that we had rolling around here on it. The gas filler was relocated to the back of the car.
So it's deleted right here on the side of the car.
Deleted there, and then we made this piece to go in here to put the fuel receptacle there. Jose's down there putting the new shocks on it so we can put a little stiffer springs in it to kind of raise it up a little higher just to make it easier to move in and out and around and things like that. So those are custom valve shocks that would be the equivalent that we run on the legacy cars that have been valved specifically for this car, with the Morrison rear independent rear suspension clip they sell, and then a modified C7 suspension up front.
Sure.
So
how long until this one goes up for paint?
Sometime between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
So
almost there.
It's looking good. So we've left all of this original paint on there to, we didn't want to blast it because it's so straight and so perfect. We didn't want to blast the car and put the heat into the panels, induce any warpage, do any of that stuff. Probably we'll let them hand sand and remove. I just don't want to make all the mess in here. So we'll let those guys do it. And they'll probably send out the inner jams and stuff and get the jam part of it blasted when they do that part. So, but everything else, we've gone through and fit all the trim and the chrome over to make sure everything fits. Got everything looking good. So make it steer into the trailer and get it ready to make it pretty.
Nice. Okay, what's next on the list?
Here's Daryl's Nova. So we've been putting a lot of effort into this hood to make sure that this transition from the top of the door through the fender, through the hood that we don't have, all lines up, and when you open it, it clears. So we're printing this back section of the hood to test when you open it that it does this. We had some fittings, we had some templates we made on here to get the exact shape of what these are to match both fenders. So we shrunk and stretched these fenders just ever so slightly. Because typically when you build it to metal, is you can tweak all the metal of the part you're making to fit what you're doing. Well, in carbon, you got to get it right the first time, because the mold is going to be what it is, and it's going to be what it is. And so you've got to get all that stuff together to make sure that everything fitting where we want. And we want that hood to come right here and then start stepping up with the steps that are in it that are similar to like a Chevelle hood, like this over there with the 2 bumps on the hood on that number 6 car. So the hood that goes on here is longer. There will be an opening here to let hot air out. There'll be another opening here that lets more air out, and there'll be an opening at the back. So it lets all that hot air out from underneath the hood. So this air intake has been tack welded together. You can see that it's a 2 pieces. You can see the seam as it goes down where it's a 2 pieces that were machined. If you get down from the top, you can see how parallel this is and how it just kind of fits around everything well. As it comes out of here, it kind of morphs to go longer underneath and then spreads out to go wider where we don't have the clearance to go over the hood. But it maintains that same area that is here. It just changes shape as it morphs through, which is why we machined this part. We're going to make
looking really good. I really like how it looks against this upper radiator.
Oh man, it looks so clean. Looks so clean. And so then we just have these Holley valve covers that we're going to make new cover tops for to modify it to go over this. The other thing you can also see is a throttle body adapter we made that's just tack welded together at this point, that fits there.
So we're going to go with these valve covers.
Yeah, but we're making new tops for them. So we wanted to hide the coils inside. They're super cheap on Holley, and there's just no reason to go to some ludicrous extent. I know it seems crazy with as much as we do, but there's just a part where you're like, I can just make a new top for this that's super clean for whatever we're doing, and we can coat this however we want and put something across the top. And we did it in orange, not for the Chevy side, but because orange is a theme on this car. With the light blue color that we're doing, there's a few things on it that are orange. If you remember right in the wheels have there's things like that have an orange pinstripe and stuff like that, and so that will all match it. There will be orange also in the interior. So you can see the grill that's set in here. Currently we're working on the hood, like I said, and then working on the lower valence to start deciphering. We're almost there on the design of the lower valence. And so we're deciphering what each material is going to be made out of. Like if you look over here on this one, you see where this is the main body that's carbon fiber. So we're going to decide what's carbon, what's going to be billet, and what's going to be maybe made out of steel, or how that's all going to mount from behind. And so with everything set on the car, set to the bodywork, setting all those things together, you know, the firewall kind of grows, all that stuff kind of grows. So we're just trying to make sure it all fits together the way we want.
Okay.
The other thing, if you come over here, you can see the door handle. So we've got this, currently this is just screwed into that base because we haven't bonded it from the back side.
You're not going to leave it with these sheet metal screws in there?
I thought about it, but I thought the people in the comments might have something to say about that.
I mean, you have aluminum glass and
well, that's
sheet
bulletproof.
Metal. That's bulletproof.
Just low caliber.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the economy we have today, nobody's using expensive bullets. So
you don't even have to tint it anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to. The tin is strong. It's strong, but it's got a peephole. Oh no, the other side is the peephole.
We kid around because sometimes the comments are just hilarious on things that people get caught up on.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, but it's entertaining. So
we've got the front door triangle in it. We've got the window glass kind of shaved down to the size we wanted. With the positioning we had for the old power window motor, we were hoping to make the inner door structure fit how we wanted. But if you come around here, you can see, or from there, you can see we made a template of what the door panel design was going to look like over what was the old power window motor. You'll probably need to come back here and see how much we were able to reverse some things on the motor to gain us some room. So you can see where this used to stick out. And now we've been able to move it back that far, which is drastic. So it's going to get all this stuff back so that it can maintain flow. We were hoping to leave it there for ideal reasons, but when you just sit in the car, this becomes a knee rest on the side, and it's just a little bit too confining. So we made this real quickly on the laser just to get a visual representation of what the door panel is. You can see how this kind of hooks up here at the top, and that hooks over, and just to get a visual representation, I can add some pictures here to the video that will show what that looks like. So you can see the design that we're kind of wrapping around right now. We kind of feel like it's a little tall, but it had to be tall because of reasons. But we were able to reverse the motor and mess with some other things to get that right. You can see that it's got our Legacy Series carbon steering wheel sitting in there. It's got our carbon console sitting in there. We have all the mechanicals in the car, so that Jose that was doing the mechanicals on the Mercedes can come over here soon and start working on laying out all the wiring and mechanical in this thing now that everything is hard mounted under the dash.
Sure. And in case no one knows, this is going to end up being real glass. This is just a template.
It's just a wrap to look like aluminum. It's actually glass underneath. Yes. So that's pretty much it. We've decided to widen the rear axle a little bit we wanted to run the offsets were available in certain specific things, and we decided to move the wheel fitment out a 1/2 of an inch more once it got the tires and the wheels on it. So a trick we have is we cut off the housing ends that are there, and you can buy housing ends that are a little bit longer. They're about a 1/2 inch longer, and then you just order axles that are a 1/2 inch longer, and it gets that wheel fitment as far out as it can possibly go to get that to fit exactly where we want. And that's the stock Roadster Shop rear axle that comes, and just those last little steps that you get when you get to a point of trying to build something to this level that you're going to sweat details like that.
And so this, just to clarify, this has a Roadster Shop chassis that you've highly modified into a unibody. Again,
No, it was a unibody. It was meant to be a unibody chassis that welds in. Very similar. It's something that are doing on our Chevelles now.
That's where I was going.
But that's where it's been for a long time, as there's been a handful of cars that you would weld these chassis into. We just cut out the center section to move the exhaust down the middle and lower the seats down and do some things like that that are a lot more intricate than what maybe a typical installer wants to do.
This car has been in the process for many, many years, and what sparked a lot of your design characteristics for the Roadster Shop Legacy series.
Yeah, for what we're doing on the unibody cars underneath, that was some of the ideas of just getting this in there. Like in this small car, I was amazed once we got it in there that it's like I can sit in this small car and there's a lot of room.
Okay. We're just
number 6 car. We haven't done much to it. Our focus has been on the number 4 car that's behind you there, and so we're super close to. And I didn't want to send it to the paint shop because I don't want this car that's not in motion to slow down a paid car. So Dr. Bob's car is coming right along, and we should be going to paint on that one here soon. Just getting everything. We're cleaning up the loose ends, which we'll show you here in a minute. And so we've just been kind of waiting on that. There's a few little fitment issues we want to work on, but we've just been buried in getting some cars done for Grand National at the end of January and getting the number 4 car.
Let's check out the number 4 car.
Number 4.
This is looking amazing.
What? What did you say about the color?
I do like the black cherry. The chrome, basically, so just hear me out.
What color is Humble Pie?
Okay, so when it sat here after it got painted, it really looked dull, I guess, not like a whole lot of pizzazz.
Because it wasn't all there. Because that's what happened.
It wasn't all there. But then once the chrome started coming into effect on the bumper, the headlight bezels, you know, the door handles, the mirrors, all that stuff really started to bring that color alive and just make it that much more elegant and actually make sense and be a great representation of a 1970 era color car.
Just making sure I can shut the hood. Nope, can't shut it. Needs a little bit more adjustment.
Yeah, this thing is looking amazing.
So we've got our big block coil covers on here. We've got the factory engine plenum cover that we're contemplating painting that the same color as the exterior. So this piece here would be the same color as the exterior is what we're thinking. I just put the machined ones on there for now. It's got the air intake in there that hasn't been powder coated just so we can fire the car here soon. we're super close to being able to do that. We've gotten all the trim on the windows and installed the glass. So we've got the legacy mirrors on here that you'll now find available on our website. These are just a common upgrade that we put on everything now. They just work so much better if you're going to drive the cars. Like, they don't matter. Mirror quality doesn't matter if you're not going to drive the car. So that we put these on there because they intended to be driven. You can see that the dash is mocked up in the car.
Can I highlight real quick something that I feel personally, because
Sure.
I'm a Chevelle owner, and I really, like, every time I see these mirrors, I really like, and they're enticing me to get a set. But on a Chevelle, when you have your body and paint done and everything, the way that the only available adjustment you have is right here on the mirror pivot ball, and then however this is mounted to the door is where it's at. It's set. The thing that I like about these mirrors is that you have a set screw on the back here, which will allow the housing to adjust to a certain point.
Yeah, this comes off. So there's a screw inside that you would set your housing where you want.
Right.
And so you screw this all the way off. Make sure when you're done, you Loctite these things in, because they might decide to work themselves out since there's no way to tighten them. But there's a screw in here.
And that sets the housing.
So you would adjust the housing.
Yep.
The housing, I think it moved barely,
Okay.
but it's pretty tight. So you'd adjust the housing to get it where you want. And then when you're done, you would move the mirror itself.
On the inside.
Moves on the inside. So you get even further room. So you have adjustment to do that, and yet it's not all clunkied up looking, like there's all these adjustment spots.
What that solves, what I'm facing is that my passenger mirror, I don't have enough throw in the actual mirror itself.
So you get a really good shot of your quarter.
Yeah, I can't see cars and stuff like that, so it's really hard.
So it's almost pointless to have a mirror on the side.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just not fully functional, so I'm eyeing these out so then I have more adjustment. Because the only other way to fix that is to find someone to reposition the holes and repaint the door. Yeah.
And if you're in a place where there's a lot of traffic, man, you never know when somebody's coming up this side. You can look, and they still can be coming. They can sneak in from, if you're on the highway or something, it's tricky. And so
they're just not
this
pretty.
allows you to see over here as opposed to only seeing here.
Yeah. Well, they're just not pretty. They are really functionable in many different ways. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. I'm not encouraging you to not look, but you just feel a lot better in looking where you're like, no, I'm pretty... Because it's a hard thing. You got to turn pretty far to see this over here on these cars.
These are going to be going on my car before the summertime comes back around and I start driving my car again.
Oh, when it goes back to Chevelle season.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always Chevelle season where I live, but I get into off-road stuff, so it's on pause right now.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So
These are nice.
So as you see, we've got the carbon door panels, which the first 5 cars got carbon door panels. We've got all that stuff in there. Center console set in there with the shifter. Gauge clusters in there. Dakota digital gauges are in the car. Just working on getting everything else in the car to get it all together. Seats are in process with the upholstery guy currently. So we're going to just do black interior, getting everything kind of set up to do that.
And just like the mirrors, this dash is still available on the website?
Yeah, we're still doing a pre-order on that. There's a few different options of single DIN stereo, double DIN stereo, things like that if you're interested in that. You use the stock lower dash section, and then you use the billet section, which we're working on selling brackets and mounts to help everybody mount it in their cars to do that. We're just trying to get a gauge of how many we're going to actually do.
Yeah, they're not cheap. And so just to kind of clarify, this is all billet. This is a solid chunk of billet aluminum that was all machined out.
Yeah.
And when he said the lower, this right here, this whole section where the glove box is, and then the lower part underneath is all plastic. It's all the factory type style dashboard plastic, but then that section is all cut out from the main section of the dash, and that's all new billet.
And if you want to film it from up here, you can see where everything is all machined on the back side. You can see where this front lip here is all polished and all that stuff, and then the inlay in there is painted, or Cerakoted, I should say. So that all fits in the car.
Yeah, it's a super, super nice piece, but it is definitely not a cheap piece to manufacture.
No. No, it starts out with a 200-pound block of aluminum.
Yeah, and also I want to throw that out there is that the other thing that's happening right here that is a huge just step in progress is you have a dash bar that you make that goes from one side of the car to the other that basically is another stiffener for that whole block of aluminum.
Yeah, everything mounts to that, and I can probably show you on that Mercedes when we walk through there, you can see how we put a dash bar in every car so you can pull it out of the car and wire those things up separately as well from the car. That's what this mount right here on the wall is for. We hang a dash bar from this and wire the car from that dash bar, so they're not trying to work under the dash, and you can just access things a lot cleaner.
So you pull the dash out, and then the bar comes out with everything, your Dakota Digital brain, your Vintage Air brain, and
the Vintage Air, all that stuff mounts to it.
Yeah.
And there's a mount on each side that allows the dash bar. We weld in these mounts on each side, and then the dash bar bolts to those mounts.
I know some of our viewers, maybe a handful of viewers, don't have experience driving a 70 to 72 Chevelle like this, and they don't understand how cheap, well, not cheap, but just the plastic.
It's just all plastic.
It's all plastic.
So it creaks, it moans, it does all those things.
So that's a big contributing factor on making this more of a driver stout interior.
And then you have to run everything that goes with it. So you've got to run the wiper switch that they want. You got to run all the stuff that is meant to be run with that has to be run with it. Yeah, you could change the gauges to something else. Yes, there's things you can move around, but you're really stuck with, putting a single DIN stereo in a plastic dash sucks.
Yeah, until you've experienced a 70 to 72 dash.
It's just the beginning of the plastic era.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
All right, so here we got Ranch Wagon coming together. We just got it back this morning from Mixed Paint. They did some touch up on things, just making some adjustments to that. We are going to continue assembly. We've got most everything here is covered. The interior in the car has been, the seats are still with Cato, and he's got those parts and pieces. It's looking killer. So getting ready to put the front bumper on it, getting ready to put the grill in it. We've got our inserts that go on the side that really add a bunch of style to the car.
I just want to point out, because on camera this looked like there was chips in there. It's tape. I just want to make that
I don't think there's latches in the doors.
Yeah.
So he's working on getting that stuff together, but it's got all the inserts in there. You'll see what it looks like on this side. You can comment below whether you like it with the gold insert or you like it with no insert.
That gold
seems pretty boring on this side.
Yeah,
huh?
that gold just.
Maybe you don't need to comment below.
Yeah.
So then this one got a little messed up, so we're making a new one that just fits a little better after the painting process. So we have a new one of those on the way. So here's Brandon putting all the details into the sill plates that go in the doors. We've got all these remaining decals that go in there that will go in all the spots he has here, so that when it's done, it looks like.
So there's little indentions, and then those are going to sit in here and be just like that. Wow.
Here's what it looks like when it's all done.
That is
pretty nice,
very
huh?
nice. It's so crazy what we can do with technology and what's available for just
Yeah, on the back side you can see that it's a machine piece. And so we have a badge that goes in here. As you can see here, here's the armrests. We put the black inside here to match. Then these go underneath the dash. You can see the key switch is built into it. This is an AC vent. And so it has this black inlay that goes in it as well. You can see the same thing on the mirrors. Well, this one doesn't have the inlay in the mirrors yet, but here's the decal that goes in that.
Wow.
These are just detail pieces to go like on the back side of the glove box. Because when you chrome it, you can't make both sides of the chrome super nice. So we made like a detail piece that goes in there. And there's another detail piece that goes on the outside. So you can see this one goes here. And then you can see this one goes on this side, just so it's clean when you open the glove box. I wanted to say garage door, but I don't know what
when you open up the garage glove box.
Yeah, that. So, yeah, just moving along, getting ready to put all this stuff that's on these shelves into that car.
And again, this car is getting debuted at the Grand National Roadster Show in Pomona.
Just in our booth, just showing in our booth. Don't, just plan on showing it that way.
And
Whoa!
I want to show the car.
We're trying to keep
almost. That's also going to Roadster Show as well.
Man,
dude, I want to see that. I want to show people that car.
All right, go ahead. All right, that's enough.
All right, let's keep on continuing. What do we got now?
If you saw it, put it in the comments below. I don't know.
What year was that? Was it a Chevelle?
What was it? You know it's a Chevelle because it ain't.
I know.
There's no 40s on it, so we know you wouldn't get excited if it was a Camaro.
No, yeah, it's a very nice Chevelle, and it's Bill's Chevelle that I can't wait to show everyone on YouTube land and social media.
It's coming. We got a video coming that we're going to start doing it. The reason is we're trying to drop 2 different cars. So we're bringing a car that we're showing you all the details, all the stuff before. You can look all you want here. And we're bringing you another one that's built to a high level that we just want to drop and see.
We've been documenting this shop builds for we're probably over a year and a half now. And we haven't ever shown Bill's Chevelle that's been in process for a long time. And it's kind of crazy that there's been a car off to the side in motion and we haven't shown.
Well, and we're not showing it. It's not going for Slonaker. It's not going for some stupid award. Bill just wants to drive the car. And the main reason I haven't wanted to show it is I want to try it for the marketing side to see what that does. I want to see if you just drop a car out of nowhere, what that does. Because I think that car, if you want to show them real quick, I think that car is going to get some looks. It's pretty cool. It's got one-off wheels, a bunch of metal modifications, a lot of things like that. But the other reason is there's a lot of stuff that's very small on it that I've had a lot of people that have been through the shop or things like that have copied a lot of small things that we've done on smaller projects. So if they're building a
Let's not use the word copy. They've been inspired.
Inspired to do that. And so we just wanted to kind of save some of those little pieces for us. Now that it's black, you really can't see them until you're up on the car to really know what that is. And we'll walk you through those things when we get there. Of just the body modifications we're doing and things like that. And so just trying to see which way really works out. If you want to comment below that you like seeing this stuff now before it comes out, does seeing this car make you want to go to the Grand National Roadster Show, or does not seeing that car make you want to go to the Grand National Roadster Show?
We're in a whole nother era. I think seeing the car in process, my opinion, I think seeing the car in process and being able to see what it takes to get it to the Grand National Roadster Show, because you won't be able to see any of this stuff. And a lot of cars get debuted and you don't get to see what's underneath them. And I hate to say it, but there's been a lot of times where there's been a lot of nice cars on the outside, but the underneath, when another shop gets to take it apart or whatever the case is later on down the road, you get to find out what's really underneath the car.
And that's super common nowadays is something, it may, just because it won doesn't mean it's nice, doesn't mean it drives, doesn't mean it does any of those things. And that's what we want to show, is really focus on the details, but making stuff that's cool. And, this car's got a lot of crazy stuff, but I think Danny will still drive it.
Yeah.
We machined all this trim. We've done all the different things that we're doing on the car to make that stuff work. And so that's where we're trying to just do a test.
We are proud of the process that we provide here, and we want to show that process, not just a final result.
Yes.
All right, let's keep on continuing.
Okay. So over here, we've got the Ford truck is back. We're going to work on getting the throttle body stuff done, getting the hood where it opens right, getting the final fitment on the doors, basically finishing the interior, figuring out how to lower those ugly seats, because those seats are super comfortable from a Ford, but man, they look so tall in this thing.
Yeah, they look real. I mean, you can't even see out the back.
Yeah, you would think they're like feet taller than a Chevy seat, and they're not. It's just little inches here. This is an inch taller, and that's an inch higher, and this is an inch around.
So this is a crew cab. This is a real.
This is an actual crew cab.
Okay.
This is part of where the joke comes, because there's tons of crew cabs that float around here. This is crew cab number 1. There's technically 4 of them around here. So that's
in process in different time frames.
There's
and
one.
Stuff.
That Chevy one is at the body shop being painted. It'll be back here probably the beginning of February. And that's where all the jokes for all the crew cab stuff comes from.
Well, the jokes about the Mercedes crew cab comes from. This is a dent side on an RS4 chassis.
Yes.
And what's the Godzilla motor?
Godzilla motor, hair up supercharger, 750 horsepower pretty easily. We want it for the torque so that it's just fun to drive. So we got all these AMD panels that are on here, all fitted on the bed. You know, we've got a lot of this stuff together. We're probably going to tweak on this part here just to pull this down a little so that all this stuff kind of fits together. And that's the story that comes with aftermarket panels, is just every car is different. Every panel's a little different. They're made in another country. They're a cost-effective replacement piece that you can put on the car that you could never even build that panel for close to the price they're selling it. And
you're also working on a 50-year-old vehicle.
You are, but I mean, I got a whole new bed for this truck here.
Sure.
And so there's things that we've just been finagling to get it back together to make it nice. And as you'll see in here with Dr. Bob's, we've got all the panels that we're replacing, and now we just got to go in and make them all fit.
So in the next episode, we'll see some more process on this one.
Yes.
We have Dr. Bob's 70 Chevelle that's getting got stripped down, all the paint pulled off of it, and
Revealed all the sins.
All the sins. And we're getting ready to shoot a headlight install
video.
Yeah, but let's just real brief kind of give a heads up of what that's going to include, that you want to go and watch that video separately.
So there's a multitude of ways you can put headlights in these cars. These are the Holley Retro Brights. You see the shape of the light. They work good. They're, I believe, a little less than $200 a light. On a 70 Chevelle, you got to buy 4 of them. So it makes it $800. So, but they just give you the light. But you see the shape difference. It's very similar to stock. The problem with the JW speakers is the shape.
And you're using the JW speakers on a lot of these legacy Chevelles, but this is a drop-in, and this is a modified install.
Yeah, this is something we've always done. We've been doing this for a long time.
Let's show the difference between
so
the two.
These are the ones should probably put the Holley on the right side. I'm trying not to drop it, but got the Holley. That's right side up, right? Yeah, yep. That's right side up. And then you've got one here. It says no daytime running lights and no turn. So this would probably be an inside light on the 70 Chevelles for us, because we would put the turn signal, because this thing with the ones with the turn, it lights up out there. And so it allows you to change the lower fog light into an air duct like we did on number 6. And we've done that. We haven't done that on other cars, but now we're trying to get more fresh air into the cars. So these Holley lights are a newer product, maybe a year or 2 old. They're nice. It's a good option.
Are these on the website yet?
These are close to being on the website. They're available everywhere.
We're getting more and more parts that we're using in-house for other people to use on their vehicles. Yeah,
things that you guys seem to ask a lot of questions about, we're trying to fulfill those answers. So what we've done over the years is we've kind of developed an install kit that puts these headlights, because the back of this bulb would hit the core support if you mounted it in the stock one, because the back pieces fit to the back of the headlight like those do. And these don't fit. So you have to do a bunch of work to the buckets. They became very small. And so we started developing some way of mounting the headlights to fit this stuff on there, to index. So the light index is here.
These JW speaker headlights are not actually made and part numbered for a 70 Chevelle. They're just a generic size.
Yeah. And so we've gotten together, made all this stuff to go where you can attach this in, and then you have these risers that go in. The thing we always do, instead of just making one part, is we get the car all in as close to physical alignment as it's going to get, which is where it's at now. We've got all the panels, the best it's going to be without welding on the edges. So we're going to come through and address that. Like you can see here.
This is like what you were talking about on the dent side, is body alignment panels, because the aftermarket stuff only gets you so far.
It only gets you so far, but you can see where this is an original piece and this is not. And you can see where this fender probably comes out a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to hammer this in or cut it. It's a little bit of a wide gap, but you can see where it's wide here, and that will allow that headlight to roll in. And so, but we're at a place where we can adjust this. And then once this is fitted, we can put the headlight in here and center it in there. So it's not low, it's not high, it's in the center of the opening. you have a little bit of adjustment in all of that stuff to make it work. And so as you look, there's just other stuff where it's got the soft close latches in it already, which is why it shuts nice. But you can see like this gap here. This is it's just the way it goes. It's nobody's fault. You can see this fits pretty nice as it comes up and then gets really wide. And so what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll either move this over or we'll weld on this edge and move it over.
And you're going to do it with metalworking when a lot of body shops use filler.
Or they'll MIG weld the edge. You're not always assured that the MIG weld stays on there as well. The TIG weld kind of just has better penetration, so you're not really as worried about it cracking out, things like that. And so it looks like this shape is pretty consistent but falls away. So we may weld on this and move this over just so you make that line look straight and it doesn't come up and then go taper into another direction to take the easy way out. We'll get that where it fits really nice.
Talk to me about the soft closed.
So the soft close, we don't have the button hooked up yet, but it's got the linkage in here. Oh. So we put GM latches in here, and then we have GM strikers in here. And as you watch, you can just see that it just shuts easy. So eventually this cable will get connected to that. We just haven't put the linkage that goes on these stock handles to actuate, because it used to be that when you pushed on the door handle, it pushed on the lever that was on the latch, and that's what opened the door. Well, now that it's a cable actuated thing, everything's cable. So this thing just doesn't push on anything. And so with that placement,
all the mechanical levers out of the plate, and now it's going straight to a cable like a new.
Yeah, there'll be you want a cable in here. Sometimes you can make these electric buttons and release there, which is nice. But you want a mechanical connection here. So if something happens to the car and the battery gets messed up, you're not relying on the battery to open the door while it's on fire or whatever.
Little things that make a huge difference
That's a pretty important one
for the final result.
Yes.
That's great. Okay.
So we've been kind of tweaking on everything else. We've got some adjustments to make on the body here just to get this fender gap, fender to bumper where it's nicer. We've been doing kind of similar things of just getting all the metal ends put together. We wound up welding these seams just to make it a little bit nicer. The drawback with these is you can't, because of the structure inside, you can't access them to hammer the welds and metal finish it, but it will be fine for what we're trying to do. It's got the fuel filler in it. It's got the battery mount. It's got the fuel tank.
And this car is not getting anything like crazy sculptured bumper to like tucked, and it's getting cleaned up, but not like super crazy tucked.
Not trying to make some multi-million-dollar show machine.
Yeah, but trying to clean up what 1970 just wasn't perfect.
Yes. Improve the fit and finish standards that we have. So you can see here, there's another spot. Just fill the gap, get that thing right. They're both the same. So we've got the Detroit Speed power brake booster that we use a lot. We've got that set up, bolted through the firewall at the pedal assembly. Once everything is landed on the car, I even like to do it after we've gapped and fitted everything. Then we will drill the holes in our legacy style inner fenders. This car is getting fiberglass inner fenders, save a little money. And we will drill those once everything is final landed exactly where we want it. With this car being one of the first ones on the new chassis, we're going to fine tune the wheel measurement just a little further down the road than we would on the other cars. We're waiting on a machine plate to go here. We're getting ready to machine some of these in quantity as you've seen in the other cars. And so that will bolt here.
And just to let everyone know, when he said new chassis, so now we're sitting on a Roadster Shop Fast Track IRS chassis that is developed with you and Roadster Shop to do a unibody.
Yes, we have number 8 on the way, and I'm getting ready to purchase some more going into 2026. So we have a few things to adjust, and because the floor pan is different in the rear, we got to figure out what to do with the rear seat. Now that we're not using the stock floor, that's really the only change that's left. But you can see the starting basis of our legacy steering wheel with the aluminum ring. You can see the center console with the insert mocked up in it. It's got the legacy mirrors on it. All that stuff's available on our website. You can see the dash bar.
That's that dash bar that I was talking about on the Black Cherry Chevelle. That's what you're seeing right there. All those pedestals for all the different pieces that are underneath the dash. None of the like old school way of just zip tying everything.
Yeah, this would be where the LT4 ECU mounts. This is where Dakota Digital stuff goes. That's all relay mounts and AC mounts.
So it's all the module. Everything is bolted, not zip tied, not bundled up. Super clean.
And as you'll see here, we have one of our factory vents that go in here that when you go to an EFI motor, obviously they run better, they create more heat, they do a lot of stuff like that. And so we've developed a vent that goes in these cars as well to help extract some of the heat out of the back of the cowl vent hoods. Other than that, Bob's car's really progressed along well.
Very fast. This one has been on the gas. So we got a Patina 67 C10 sitting here.
It's Patina 67.
We've not seen this one on the YouTube. We haven't really seen it too much on Instagram or socials, but it is something that you finished a while ago, probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
About a year and a half ago, something like that. I was building it for myself, found it up north online. Man, pretty amazing truck short of this little foobar. But just a cool truck. So,
this is exactly how you received this truck. Original, like
short of the ceramic coating on it that I'm kind of a fan of. I don't know. I like the protection because there's like some exposed metal here, so it gives it a little bit of protection. But I think the clear coat on it makes it look a little, but it gives a lot of protection for what it is.
So you like it more patinaed, original?
I like it to
patina.
look more natural.
Yeah, natural. Let's walk us through this one.
But it's
what was the goals? What was the target for this?
Just a simple truck. Just a simple truck. Something
Just
to
a
drive.
simple truck.
It's not simple? Sorry.
I guess this is kind of the simplest side of things.
It's still got the marks on the firewall. It's still got still got the rust on the firewall. It's got the stock hinges in it.
So when you received this truck, how all together and how stock was it?
Well, those are the stock valve covers.
Nice.
So we put the stock valve covers on an LS3. Did some work to rework the air cleaner to put the throttle body inside. Did a bunch of those things, just trying to make it was a slick truck. I kind of knew that somebody would buy it from me, and of course that's what happened.
Yeah.
Kind of miss it. It's kind of cool truck.
How many miles are on it now?
2,500. So this guy has a few cars that we built, and it's kind of cool. I know 2,500 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you consider he has other cars that I start to wonder, like, does this guy a truck driver, or is he like, man, he drives a lot? So
yeah, 2,500 miles in a couple of years doesn't seem like a lot, but to put it in perspective, this isn't the only muscle car classic vehicle that he has. So when you start taking in consideration the other mileage on the other cars with this, he's driving these cars more often than most.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if what's that movie with the Clint Eastwood guy where he's the drug runner guy. I don't know if he's hauling. I don't know, man. There's a lot of miles on these cars. So,
but he definitely loves vehicles like this that you can drive.
Yeah, no, and so he has a Legacy Series Chevelle, and there's the stock hood. So he has a Legacy Series Chevelle. Just enjoys driving that, and I think over the year and a half, the front springs have settled a little, and so we're going to adjust that. We're going to change the valving that's in here because this is a stock chassis truck with all DSE stuff on it, front and rear. We wanted to try that, wanted to see how it was. Everything works good. The valving in it's just not quite what we like. It's got a rain gear wiper system in it. It's got like the typical stuff, the Dakota Digital. It's got a Sid Shavers seat with a rubber mat. So he did a great job on the seat as usual.
Wow.
We stripped all the original springs out of it and refoamed the seat so they're super comfortable.
So this is all foam, not
it's all foam.
spring.
You can see the fancy stereo system because we didn't want to cut up the dash there on the seat. So the stereo's right there in the middle of the seat because we found one that matches. Does that match?
That is super cool, actually. I like that.
I just didn't see the reason to put a stereo in it and cut a hole in the dash, and
Yeah.
it kind of
So let's put this in perspective here. Did you guys paint anything on the interior?
nothing.
So this is exactly how you pulled it.
Dash pad is how it came in. The window, you can see the windshield rubber's all dry. You can see, you know, the door rubbers have been changed, I think, but the windshield rubber you can see on the inside is all weathered.
Yeah.
You can see the dash is weathered. Everything seals up pretty good, but it's still
How many original miles does this truck have on
it
it?
was super low. I can't remember. Maybe 40,000.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you have to paint anything on the outside?
No, I think somebody did. There was a couple spots that if you stand in the right spot, you're like, it seems a little. There's that new rubber for you.
But that was years ago.
Yep. So it's got a fuel filler in the bed just to make it easier to fill up. So it's here. The radiators seem to be seeping, which I think is an issue. So we're waiting on a warranted radiator, and we're going to revalve the shocks. We're going to upgrade up the springs in a little bit. We're going to go from 550s in the front to 600s, just to perfect the ride quality. Because there's a point where when the spring is too soft over time or wears down, that it gets close to coil bind, and a spring that's too soft will ride too stiff. So, like, we didn't get rid of this. This is the factory gas cap, but we're not using any of that. It's got forged line wheels on it, polished tubes, gray centers, original hubcaps. Just a fun driving little truck.
And what rear end's in it?
Ford 9-inch.
What trans?
4L65, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So
this is cool.
So we'll do a full feature on this truck that you guys will see in the upcoming issue, just showing some build pictures, showing things like that show how this truck was built.
Okay.
It was supposed to be mine, just to tool around in, and somebody decided they wanted it more than me.
Yeah. So real quick, I wanted to also add before we close out this video, you had your new client, Dr. Bob. He had brought up some key things that have been really a benefit for his new project with you, that he had just basically been overwhelmed in a positive way with how you're updating him with his build process and some of the other things that he had mentioned about he didn't realize how much effort was going to be put into it. We talked about the body panels being fitted correctly. He's had another vehicle that had been restored, but
maybe he's not happy with it. I don't know. There was just something that he really commented on, like, so you guys are going to address all this. You're not just going to paint it and leave it like it's a new part. And you're like, no, like, same with the springs that we're talking about here. We spend a lot of time to make sure the springs we got are working on the truck, not just the springs that came and go, I don't know, man, that's what it came with. It's what that DSC told me. It had a small block. We put a small block, and then we adjusted them all the way up. But I think that's the best it's going to get. And so we kind of go above and beyond. There's just a lot of stuff of spending time on updating customers. We spend a lot with that. I mean, obviously with the business development classes we teach, there's a lot of guys who don't update customers.
What's the update process with you? Because I know you have a photographer that comes in on what kind of schedule?
He comes in every week and takes some pictures, and so they get pictures. Some of that gets used in social media, but most of it just gets left in their Dropbox.
Yeah.
And so we leave that in their Dropbox, and every month they get a new Dropbox folder that all the pictures we take, and if the car's being worked on that week, they get pictures and an update. And sometimes there's 5 pictures, sometimes there's 30 or 50 pictures, depending on how busy of a week it is and what we're trying to convey. And
I've seen this Dropbox folders, and I mean it's all scheduled by month and year, so that it's an open link for them to just check up. And we're talking about pictures that are well lit, where they're not dark and they're not all just at a weird. I mean, these are great pictures, technically pictures that can be used on social media or in a magazine, because the guy that does all the pictures
is a
professional.
photographer.
Yeah, I mean, so the quality of the pictures, you're definitely going to get to see as a customer what is really going on, not anything just kind of no flip phone pictures, I guess is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, no flip phone or just no poorly lit pictures. Like, we try to explain it and try to go through, and there's an email that accompanies that kind of tells what's going on, what's going on, what's coming up, what to expect, and
forecast.
We try to send more pictures than bills, which is always a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So,
and then also the journey too is, I guess would be kind of cool, is that Bob's getting to see the process in YouTube form and on social media as things are going. So he's getting the excitement as well as the people that are following along.
Yeah,
too.
I would say about half my customers are on social media and the other half are not. And so a lot of guys just want to see the updates that way, through Dropbox, through that type of stuff, because that's where we talk about enjoying the process.
Yeah.
They're seeing renderings, they're seeing those types of things as it goes. It's for them to decipher and pick out the colors they want and enjoy the process as it goes on.
And that's another thing to note. It's not just photos of the build, it's actually renderings of these ideas that you guys have bounced back and forth. And there might be a rendering of an X piece or section of the car, 3 different versions for them to sit there and mull over until they figure out what they want to.
Yeah, or there might be 6 versions that you make a conglomeration of these 6
Yeah.
versions to come up with the one that you think is best for your car. You know, some cars, obviously, there's not a lot of renderings for this. I know we did a rendering on this that was whether the wheel hoops were going to be solid painted or whether they would be polished. And so there was just stuff like that where we kind of messed with some of those basic things. But other than that, like, there wasn't a whole lot to this. But other cars, man, there might be a lot of renderings.
Okay.
So thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.